heart racing right after that one.
To be honest, I wasn't too bad. I felt that got to give people something to moan about. Do you know what I mean? especially in Bristol. No, I think that my honest take on it is it takes an awful lot of effort to go and get 3-0 up against a Derby side, and I think that with 3 new players in the team, you know what I mean, there was always going to be a spell where we flagged a little bit, and Corey got a little nick to his knee, and he didn't feel quite right, so he asked to come off, and then obviously that changed a little bit the adaptation of what we were originally trying to do. Adam Nagy's out not well, Masengo wasn't on the bench today, so therefore we didn't have a natural centre mid. But in saying that, I said to the boys, look, do not come in, you got to feel almost like that's a last minute winner, because it's an unbelievable win. Derby are a very, very good side. You can see the quality that they've got, particularly in possession all over the pitch. And my biggest grumble is probably just not managing the game as well as we could have done in the last sort of 10-15 minutes, really, in terms of carrying the ball up the pitch, getting a throw in. We should have scored 2, but when you don't punish them and put those away, then naturally I was like, Callum, just run into the corner, mate. Do you know what I mean? With 30 seconds to go, it gave them one more opportunity to put it in the box.
Let's start with the great positive first of all. Naki Wells getting his first goal. I'm sure you brought him in to get the goals to make the difference, and that was a sign that he's probably able to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been really good to watch in training. He's been like to describe it like a cold finisher. You know what I mean? As you can see, as the ball comes into him, we've had good finishers here for different reasons. Codger, Tammy Abraham, Bobby Reed, but he's the best I've seen in terms of like being able to slow down his mind's eye, if you like, and finish with a clinical feel. So I'm excited to work with him, and that's what he's here to do. He's probably only had that one chance today of real value, and he was in an area free as a bird in the middle of the goal, which is obviously not easy to do. Good that our full-back Jada Silva was like at the far post, so I think that shows the attacking intent at home. And I thought we were really, really good in that spell from like 15 minutes in to about 55 minutes, if you like. And that's where we won the game, without question of a doubt. And it did get a bit nerve-wracking, but given the fact we had 3 full debutants in January for a side that's already performing very, very well, credit to them boys for all performing as well as they did today.
There's the old adage that goal scorers win games, and it was a close enough game, wasn't it, until that header, and then suddenly you dominated up to half time, got another one. Yeah. You looked like suddenly you were going to win the games comfortably, so that goal changed a lot again.
Goals change games, and they change mindsets, don't they? And sometimes you can be playing terribly. I remember playing like successful teams I'm in. Sometimes I've been in as a player. Times like we had Jevons, for example, we could be playing terribly and then bang, hits a goal clean as a whistle from like 18 yards out, and it just gives everybody else strength and drains the opposition. So like I say, we've had good strikers in our time here, but I do believe Naki is the most clinical of the ones we've had.
We talked about Benkovic after the last game, and he cost you a goal at the end, we thought, but today great for him, and it gives you a great threat at corners, doesn't it? Now you've got Jeju, you've got Benkovic, you've got another full line of midfield now. You look as though you're going to be a good corner taker. Yeah. You know that's got to be in your mind now that you're going to score from set pieces.
I think that is really, really important, and like it is difficult because it's like feels like the 20th team we've had to build in my tenure. You know, you pull a key player out of the team, don't matter if you put another good one in like Naki Wells, Josh Browner, you still got to find a match and find a balance and everything that goes to go and get wins like that as quickly as possible. But of course in the Championship you want to be able to make sure that every box is ticked. You want all the clubs in the bag. Probably the only club we haven't got in the bag is that 6'6" striker. And funnily enough, Benkovic was a striker until he was 16. Said to me yesterday, he said, all I ever wanted to be was a striker. I said, all right, that's handy. Do you mind going up there in the last 10 minutes? He went, no, I love it. So he'd be well happy with that goal. I might have Brendan Rodgers on the phone saying, what are you doing when I'm playing him up front? But No,
I got forward. I thought, well, I wonder if you're going to start playing like Sheffield United because you're centre back.
Yeah, well, yeah. Listen, I like my centre back. The way we work it is one of the centre midfield recognises it and drops back in anyway. So if the momentum's there, and it's particularly if it's a big lad, you may as well keep going. And if you get a second phase delivery, you nearly got one, didn't he, on the far stick from across where he just carried it, released it, and carried on his run. So new players, very, very good for very different reasons, and I think Hendrickson was class tonight. I think he gave us a bit more structure than we had in the game before, and we needed that. It allowed the wingers to play with a bit more licence and the forwards to have a little bit more freedom, so that was good. And then obviously Benkovic, as we just spoke about, looked very assured and in possession. It's probably as close as you get to a Webster, to be honest.
Just finally, the people are starting to talk about the home form, 4 defeats, I think, in the last 6 home games before tonight, and saying the away form was great, but the home form was going to cost you. So that, from that point of view, that was a huge thing.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about this a lot over the last week because I do. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like I'm desperate for the red side of Bristol to truly get behind us, and it always seems to get to that stage where either we blow it when everybody starts to believe, like we did on Friday, or they don't fully believe in us. And that was why I was pleased today, because I thought even when we were under the cosh, or perceived to be under the cosh, they really stuck with us, and there weren't too many anxious, negative thoughts. You know what I mean? It was, all right, we've got to defend this now. We're going to get behind the boys and make sure, yes, we need more pressure on the ball, and they were encouraging that. But it wasn't in a moany, grumbly way. It was in a positive, come on, lads, we can do this way. And I think that's going to be so important, to have that wave of power that the fans and the community actually can give you. Because when the boys are in and around town and people bump into them, do you know what I mean? They've got to be as positive as they can, because this group thrives on positivity, and that's the way they are.
We are doing Leeds questions tomorrow afternoon, so Craig, do you want to ask about it?
Yeah. What were your thoughts when Juju was so near but so far in stoppage time?
I wanted to kill him. I thought he should have rounded the keeper, actually. The bit I was more angry at was he was spent 3 minutes, so it seemed like it was probably 10 seconds, feeling sorry for himself. I was like, get back in, mate, and get back behind the ball. But no, it was a good run. Listen, we all see what he's tried. I thought he could have rounded the keeper, but he's that far away, isn't he, from sticking that in. And he worked extremely hard again tonight, fam, and I think he's been excellent in these last sort of 10 games, and really showed his worth, and he's been a real handful at the level.
Lee, you were almost sort of a year ago today, I think you said we're not really maybe too fancy, that sort of suits us. How do you sort of feel this time around, if you like, because you're right in amongst it?
Yeah, well, we'll certainly be the underdog of that group, won't we, just by nature of the beast and resources, and probably us and Preston, if you like, out of those boys. But we're 3 points off Leeds. Do you know what I mean? And Leeds are in second. Like 4 or 5 weeks ago, I'm not sure many people would have believed that, when they had a 15-point gap on us or whatever, going to Leeds on Saturday, with a chance to narrow the gap again. So all we can do is concentrate on the process, and I don't know is the answer, but I feel we're fit. I don't feel the boys are tired. I don't feel they're tactically tired, mentally tired. I think we've got depth. Yes, we haven't got that big sort of launch ball striker, but pretty much everywhere else, touch wood, we've got half decent competition, good vibrancy and young lads, and that's probably the bit that is the question. Can we see it through that sort of game management element that we probably lacked in that 20 minutes where they got a couple of goals?
I appreciate it's tricky, but do you feel sort of better stocked maybe this time around, obviously, especially with January and all the guys you've already mentioned tonight?
Yeah, I think obviously barring Brownhill, I think we're reasonably well stocked. Callas, hopefully, well, he's been training, so he got a bit of a nick actually, and his knee swelled up. Yeah, his knee was swollen, but I think it was just a little valve in terms of it wasn't anything too bad, and that will probably reduce pretty quickly. We expect it to. Adam was ill, but he put Adam and Callas back in the side. Masengo today, for a specific reason in terms of change of what to make, didn't make the squad, and it feels quite tight, quite strong. and hopefully the boys can just get on with each other. And if we take a punch on the nose by getting a bad result or a poor performance, just bounce back as quickly as possible, because it's happened to everyone in the division.
And just lastly for me, do you think sometimes people sort of overlook the amount, you said about the amount of times you've had to rebuild the team? Do you think sometimes that sort of gets forgotten about, overlooked? There's been quite a lot of changes in that.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me in terms of outside perception. Do you know what I mean? I'm just telling you, like I am, the truth, that in any team, you only got to look at Sheffield United, for example, and their success. It's been built on that steady state, and the players that they've signed really almost not unsellable, but you know what I mean, they're at the age and phase where Sheffield United is the best club for them, and that's powerful and that's strong. So I think we can create that here, and hopefully we can do it quickly. We've got to fast track it with this group, but because they haven't been together as long as we would have liked, sometimes games like that can happen where you have a dodgy, ropey 15 minutes.
How's Corey doing after the game?
I don't know, he felt a little pinch in his knee, so we'll assess him over the next couple of days.
Give a little insight into your team selection tonight in terms of the 3 new guys coming in. How are you thinking that these are basically the guys to take Bristol City forward, or were you thinking about 3 games in 8 days possibly, rotating the squad, or would you say the guys that impressed you?
You're starting to stalk me here. No, I'm joking. No, I think that it was very, very simple. I felt that 3 new guys wouldn't necessarily be affected by any negativity from the game before. We'd come in really, really fresh and really positive, wanting to make good impressions in their debut. I thought this was a good chance to have a good look at Benkovic, given the games that were coming up, and probably the best chance to do that. And he came through with flying colours, which is good. And sometimes you just need that. There's no point in signing them if you don't give them a shot. Do you know what I mean? And today was the right time because they're very, very good players. I won't pick a team too early in terms of leads, because a lot goes into that, like medical care, sports science, getting a feel for the individuals. And I might even pick a team on the day, given its leads.
You're not meeting David Beckham tonight at all, are you? He's down at Cleveland Town, isn't he?
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Watching? Oh, is he? Oh, yeah. What, playing for Millfield?
They lost to Cleveland.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay. Well, Darren Way was he told me the other day that he was at Millfield with Plymouth, and Romeo's playing, and his daughter wouldn't talk to him because apparently she's got 3 or 4 posters of Romeo in the room.
Good.
All right.
Great stuff.
Cheers.